How's it going, everybody? Nate Rathman here again with Spiritual Stewardship, and today I'm making a video about connecting with Spirit. So, I have been trying to connect with Spirit for many years, and maybe like most of you, I'm not sure, I've had moments where I felt like I was having a spiritual moment and maybe I was connecting with something, but it felt very fleeting and feeling like it wasn't a very stable connection. So like situations, maybe like very heightened situations where I was in flow or deep meditation and like touching something that just felt like very restorative. But for a lot of my spiritual journey, I have been trying to like bolster my intuition, trying to have an everyday connection with Spirit, trying to hear angels, see angels, feel angels, talk to my higher self, talk to Source, feel, divine masters or whatever, ascended masters coming in. And I just never had it happen in like a real meaningful way. And it's been very disappointing, I'll be honest, for someone who feels like I really identify as a seeker, as a spiritual seeker, and someone who has done a lot of practices, a lot of meditation, breath work. I love tarot. I love crystals. Really into all of the stuff of metaphysics, and just really wanting to have a stronger connection with Source, but finding it lacking, I don't have a connection, and feeling kind of broken, actually feeling like I'm a failure, or like it happens for other people, like I believe it happens for other people, but it just hasn't happened for me. Which feels very sad and kind of frustrating at the same time. But I have recently had a bit of a breakthrough, and I did have an experience and continue to have an experience where I feel connected to Source. Before I get into what has been working for me to strengthen that connection with Source, I just want to say that this is a very individualized thing, and so the technique that I've been doing to connect with Source is not going to work for everybody, and it's not really a video about the technique. It's more of a video about the feeling I got once I got connected to Source. So the technique that I've been using that's been working is muscle testing. I heard about muscle testing a long time ago. I think I heard Wayne Dyer talk about it like way back in the day when he was on Hay House. I know kinesiologists use it for different things. And I know that there's certain like healing modalities where they'll muscle test to like go through a number of, like, is it this chakra or this chakra, and they'll muscle test you. So I knew about it. And recently I had started experimenting with kind of an easier way to do it, because it's very hard to like muscle test big arm movements. One, it's like, for me, it feels like I don't know if that's me or if that's my mind or what. So one of the things I've been doing lately is just doing like a finger lock muscle test. And it's very simple. If you say something that's true or a yes, then your fingers will stay together. Like, my name is Nate Rathman. If you say something that's false or that you don't believe in, or that's a no, when you say it, your fingers will come apart very easily. Like, my name is Steven Tyler. Comes right out. So this is a very simple thing, and I was using it for like food stuff and like nutrition. And then like one day I was like doing it, and I was like, wait, can I talk to Source this way? And I got a yes. And I just started, I started going down the rabbit hole and like kind of like asking more and more questions, yes, no questions. So it's almost like a magic 8-ball. It's kind of really weird. But for someone who hasn't had a connection before, it was very exciting. And I started asking questions that were like very personal and very powerful questions, and was getting very profound answers. And then in addition to that, what happened was this feeling that came over me at the same time. So when I started having these things answered just through the simple muscle testing, what came along with it was this like wave of warmth, which was really the exciting part. And a feeling of connection. I'm trying not to get emotional because it's very powerful. Just this feeling of connection, this feeling that that divine guidance, that source, that God, whatever you want to call it, has your back, right? That you're not alone, that you're connected. And also, I think for me, just feeling like for so long, like I just want to feel something. Getting that feeling, it was like the dams broke. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then, again, just, feeling very much like I'm taken care of and that I'm not alone. Those are the big things that have happened with it. But what I've done since then is kind of, that was like a couple weeks ago. And then what I've been trying to do is really lean on that and lean into that and to let that be the way I live, which is kind of freaking crazy. So I'm calling it spirit-led or spirit-forward, spirit-driven life. And I'll just I'll check in, I'll do my muscle testing about almost everything. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to step out of the old patterns that I had and the old ways of doing things and to really do things that are divinely inspired. Because I think I've always kind of wanted to do that, but sometimes you if you don't have a connection, you don't have a feedback loop with source or your higher self, then we often have all these default programs that are running about how you do things, and you end up kind of you end up working really hard. You're using a lot of your same kind of 3D earthly tools and techniques, which is to-do list, gonna follow this, I'm gonna work really hard for this amount of hours, and I'm gonna follow this prescribed program, I'm gonna watch this guru, and I'm gonna do everything he says because it's worked for him, or I'm following law of attraction, I'm gonna do all these techniques, but without that feedback loop back to source, it becomes very difficult to know if you're on the right path, and also if your ego mind or kind of your old patterns of behavior are really driving the show or not. And one of the things that I can say once I started doing this kind of spirit-led or spirit-driven life, asking all the time about spirit, should I do this or do that? What's happened is that none of the things that I do in a day have changed that dramatically, but the order in which I do them and then the feelings that come with the things that I do are very, very different. So the feelings, I'll do the feelings first. The feelings that are different is this just deep knowing. Again, like I said, it feels like someone has your back. So it's this deep knowing that I'm on the right path. And so what you lose is this sense of anxiety or dread that you're missing out on something or you're doing the wrong thing. That just kind of goes away, which is awesome. I was an incredibly anxious person, and now feeling like that is lifting is just this huge, huge relief. And then the other thing that's just funny, and it's just kind of a thing I didn't expect, but I guess I should expect it, is just that the order in which Spirit has me do things in my day is very different than my Virgo kind of type A personality would do things. Take a bath first, go for a walk in the woods first, basically get yourself straight before you try to do anything. And again, when you're doing it all and you're feeling confident that this is all for your highest good, it becomes easy, and it's also very enjoyable. That's the other thing that's really cool. I'm doing the same activities in different order, but I don't have the anxiety, and they also feel different because they feel fun. And maybe that's connected to the losing the anxiety, I'm not sure. But it just feels like each moment you're well, shit, source is the one guiding this, so something really cool could happen, and cool things have been happening, like weird, synchronistic and serendipitous things. And you also, I just get a lot of guidance from source that it's like whatever I'm doing, that's the thing I'm doing, and it's not like anti-multitasking, but when I check in and I'm doing something and maybe I want to pull my phone or do two things at once, and I check in with source, it's like, no, do the thing you're doing. And that presence and coming back in and like kind of full dedication to the moment, and again feeling like source has your back and feeling like it's an aligned action, all of that is like a huge game changer. It makes daily activities much more exciting. And the whole thing is kind of like this also, there's like an unknown to it, right? Because I'm not letting my ego mind or my brain or my 3D kind of programming drive the ship. I'm letting spirit lead the way, and spirit is going to do things differently. And it's just very exciting because it's like I'm still getting stuff done. I have kids, I have I have to do dinner, I have bills to pay and groceries to shop, but I'm doing it all in this very organic, light, fun way, and it feels just very exciting. So I would like to encourage you to try that technique. I don't know, try the muscle testing, see if it works. Another thing that I did that worked a little bit for me too, and this was recommended by Julie Poole, who is an awesome tarot card reader. She does free tarots on YouTube, but also does energy healing and psychic readings. And I got an energy healing psychic reading from her that was amazing. It was like a month ago. And I was talking to her in that, and she was talking to her guys, and I was saying, hey, is this muscle testing thing working for me? And they were like, yes. And then it also came through that another easy technique that I could do if muscle testing wasn't, socially, it was too socially awkward, is just think about a question and let yourself kind of be like a pendulum. And if you lean in, it's a yes. And if you think about the question and you lean back, it's a no. And so it's just a very easy way, again, becoming embodied, becoming intentional about trying to connect to spirit, and then having this nice little feedback. I think the muscle testing for me works really well because I have a very busy mind. I have I think a lot of us have a monkey mind, obviously, but there's I have kind of a gear mind, like it just wants to grind data and information. And I think for a long time, all the doing of spiritual practices and the grinding it out and really trying to be present, there's no space there for presence. It's like, I wasn't able to kind of hold a bubble for me to connect with spirit. And there's just something very easy for me as someone with a busy brain to just tap into this, because it's like, I know, I'm not doing it. It feels very clear to me. It's not coming from me. It's also very simple, and I don't move into that place of second guessing, which I think is what is hard for people with really busy brains when you use these techniques. I think probably a lot of the techniques work really well, but people with very busy brains that do a lot of second guessing always, we have a hard time being like, was that me? Was that spirit? I don't know. And that's not fun, right? Because then you don't get any of that relief of I'm on the right path. So yeah, I will say one thing, if you do start doing the muscle testing, one of the things I found out is that, and this is true of tarot and a lot of different tools and techniques, is the quality of the question is very important. And so sometimes I was asking should questions, should I do this? Should I do this? And I was getting really weird answers. And then I would ask, is the problem here the way I'm asking the question? And it was a clear yes. And then I would get clear, rephrase the question, and bring it back to a very is spirit leading me this way? Or is this for my highest good? And then ask it. And I'm getting much better feedback that way. So yeah, I hope this is helpful to you. This has been a game changer for me, and it's one of the reasons I'm doing these YouTube videos. And honestly, 5 minutes before I get on here, I will start muscle testing. Like, is this what we want to talk about? Yeah. Oh, okay. And I'll just like dial it in. And this is the way that I'm going to be doing this video. I'm going to be doing it spirit-led. I've said it in the other video. I think if I'm being compelled to share the message, or somebody out there who needs to hear it. So hopefully this resonates for you. If you want to leave a comment about a tool or technique or tip that works for you to connect with spirit and to deepen your intuition, that would be very cool. If you like the videos, give me a thumbs up. And yeah, I'll see you later. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.